worst GM is the Mary Sue GNPC. All right. Now a GNPC is the Game Master's player character. It's the Game Master's non-player character. It's a character that's inserted into the game, created by the Game Master. And Mary Sue, if you're unaware, is a generalized term for a character that's inserted amongst role-playing gamers is such a perfect character that they can do no wrong. It's easy to fall into the trap. Well, let me explain. First of all, the trap comes by when you have a bunch of players. Let's say you've got 3 fighters, a ranger, and a barbarian or something. And so the Game Master's like, man, I had this game. There's a lot of magic in it. I'm going to insert a cleric into the game to help them out. He's going to lead them on the way. Okay. Got an NPC. Cleric's like, I've got the church doctrine here. It says every 100 years, a mystical portal opens up, and I must gather together, stout fighters to help fight off this evil. Okay. Players get together. They follow this NPC cleric up the hill. They go to the castle. It's all empty. Portal opens up, and what happens? Well, since no one else has magic, the cleric casts, calls forth the, powers of the divine to keep the portal open. All right, you let that go. Players go into the portal. Cleric goes with them. Okay, the cleric's there to heal them. All right, now the cleric's there to explain things to them. Wait a minute, the cleric never gets hurt. Why? How come the cleric can now pick locks? The cleric is rescuing fighters out of danger? How come the cleric can jump across the pit, but everybody else has to make a roll and almost fail? The cleric's always making the saving throws, and it just goes on and on. And eventually, now that can happen by accident. That can happen when the Game Master really wants the story to move forward, inserts an NPC to help the players out, and little by little, in order to keep this NPC in the game, they succeed at everything. There isn't even a roll. They have to succeed. They survive. They don't get hurt. And it can happen. It's an accident. It's just a simple, the Game Master just wants everybody to have fun. They don't want to edit other people's creativity. But wow, man, they're really lacking in something, and the only idea I have is for them to go into this mystical realm, and they're all fighter types. So what can I do? Okay, well, I'll insert someone that can help them out. Okay. Here's the worst part of the Mary Sue. When a GM inserts a Mary Sue, it's when they come up with a character idea that they've always wanted to play, but instead they make a game, and then they insert their favorite character idea into the game and becomes an NPC. And that NPC becomes a proxy for all the things they've ever wanted to do. They're the best killer. They sneak around. They've got the highest level of magic. They can't be mind controlled. You don't know what they're about to do. They have dragons for pets. These are characters where you're just like, what the hell? You can't defeat them. They always know all the best ideas. They know you can never sneak up on them. No matter what your creative idea is, the Game Master metagames it and goes, well, he knows you're going to cast these spells on him to trap your past door spell to trap him in the earth. So he jumps out the way, and you're going, wait a minute, I know he's a bad guy, but is he really that good? And you got to be real careful with the Mary Sue, because sometimes the Mary Sue is with the party. It's another Elric type character with Stormbringer or something going along with the party members, and they're just like, man, why is he take charge? Why is this? He's an NPC. He's not supposed to be better than the rest of us. And here's the mistake that happens, okay? You want to make a bad guy. You want to make a Doctor Doom. You want to make a Thanos. You want to make, Sauron. You want to make a memorable, evil character that the players can confront. Makes sense, all right? And most of the time, the main evil guy, the Lich Queen, the dragon, The Demon Lord is extremely powerful, very capable, very brilliant, and pretty much good at everything. And that's true. But they have a purpose for being in the game, and their purpose essentially is to create a challenge for the players to overcome. And part of overcoming that is to defeat the evil. You got to give them the opportunity to outsmart, to outgun, to get together, to outblast some of these creatures. And if you just create a Mary Sue where they always know what the players are up to, they always know. You're using your GM knowledge to circumvent all the creative ideas they have to fight off the evil, then, dude, you just suck. You're just creating you just want to make this character, and since you can never create it as a player character, you're using it as an excuse to beef up your own, maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some kind of weird psychological reason for wanting to have a character that's perfect in the game, and maybe it's hard to create that as a player character, so you put it in as a GM. There's all kind of reasons, but you got no Mary Sues. No, I'm perfect at fighting and all my skills, and I have the highest attributes. You know, I've got all 18s except a 9 in charisma because, you know, charisma's a dump stat. You know, none of that kind of stuff. I've multi-classed in 5 different classes, and the NPC is a 20th level monk, ranger, sorcerer that's, you know, got 18 magic items and all the... Whatever. Like, no Mary Sues, no GMPCs, no Game Masters, you know, PC characters in the game. Don't do that. Don't do that. You might as well just play by yourself. Yes, in all its connotations. Just be by yourself, do your thing. All it does is ruin the table. The players are going to get frustrated. They're going to give up. They're going to be unmotivated to further your story. And they're going to defer to the NPC if they still want to play. And they're just going to look at you and say, okay, what's the Mary Sue going to do first? Because apparently the Mary Sue's the only one that knows how to fight everything. Now, here's some ways to get around that, too. You could have, say, a grizzled old warrior that knows how to defeat the evil. And the grizzled warrior's got low stats, low endurance, but his head's full of knowledge on how to defeat the Medusa. And it's like, well, here's how you defeat the Medusa. You need a mirrored object. You need to do this, do that. But I don't have the ability to fight it. You got to do it. Okay, so you know, okay, players need the information, but the NPC's not going to take over. You know, you can't give the NPC everything. You know, allow the NPC to have to be saved by the players. Allow the NPC to be wrong, to give out false information, and the players are like, no, Medusas aren't affected by water. That's something else. The Medusa, you have to be in a mirror. And they're like, no, I'm serious. If you splash water on a Medusa, they die. Like, nah, I don't think that's going to happen. You know? Let people come up with ideas. Let the NPC be wrong a couple times, you know? Let them have bad stats. Make rolls for them and let them fail. That kind of thing. There's other ways to impart knowledge to players without having to have a Mary Sue character who is perfect at everything and survives everything and leads the characters almost as if the player characters are their own lackeys. Okay? Don't do that anymore. Destroy that idea.